Let me ask you that question. Why do so many Americans have a pet instead of a child? I'm talking to you. In my Western history class, I asked my students to ask me questions. Ask an American. I told them, write down 3 questions that they really want to know. I also told them that don't worry about offending me. Don't worry about criticizing my country. Ask the questions that, well, like I said, that you really want to know. Here are just a few of the questions. What's the attitude of the majority of Americans towards China? When do Americans usually take a shower in the day? Is it really that they like to take a shower in the morning? Do students in the U.S. feel embarrassed or lack confidence when they are asked by teachers? Do they volunteer to answer some questions? And why? And why? Why does the United States legalize drug use? Do American students really have an easy and relaxing campus life, like some Chinese media broadcast? Do you think you are the most powerful country in the world? I mean, if everybody in America also thinks so? Is it true that Americans prefer spending money for satisfaction right now compared to saving money for future risks? If it is, why? And how do Americans deal with it when the risks come? For example, in the TV series Friends, Monica and Chandler spend all the money to hold their wedding ceremony. COVID-19 pandemic is serious in the last year, and even now. What do you think of what your government did in the early part of the epidemic? Do you think that they protected the Americans well?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
You know why I love this? Just by asking them to ask me questions, I'm finding out so much more about what's on their mind than, practically any other way. I know there are limitations. When I went into this project, I knew that there might be students who were just going to ask very polite questions or very anodyne, general questions. I knew that going in. I was so surprised by some of the directness of the questions, and I really appreciate that. I suppose that I have achieved some level of trust that, they can indeed ask me questions that are critical of my country, and, they feel confident enough to ask. Oh, this is a longer one. Okay. I have seen a video before that is in a Western region in America, a reporter stand in the street. He caught passers-by randomly and asked them questions. Those questions are, do you know where Paris is? How many angles does a triangle have? What currency does Britain use? And from the video, I saw that most interviewees can't give the correct answer even when facing such simple questions. It seems that many Americans are not good at geography and math. If so, what do you think of this phenomenon? Or is it just a stereotype? Do Americans permit teenagers under 15 to fall in love? How do Americans think about the history of the conflict between Indians and the pioneers of Anglo-Saxon? As U.S. is a nation that always fight for human rights, does it ever face this period of history in public or explain it clearly in the history textbook during the education? Sorry, this question might be offensive, but I really want to know. They really eat burgers as their staple food? Do you think Thucydides' trap between America and China can be avoided? If so, why and how? Just a little background. Thucydides' trap is roughly when a rising power catches or surpasses an existing power, a war inevitably will break out. Tell me some stereotypes that Americans have of Chinese. Oh, drop them. Under pluralism, culture shock is bound to happen. How to solve this problem? Do you blame capitalism for the class-defining problem in America? By the way, it's about 6 in the morning. The sun hasn't risen yet. Do Americans think that it's dangerous to allow normal people to have guns? Why are Americans always so confident? Besides fast food, what do Americans cook most often? Which state in America has the best food, in your opinion? Is it true that obesity is a serious problem in America? Why do Americans think they have a more democratic society than China? Why do some Americans think China is undemocratic? Why do Americans drink coffee? Many Americans like freedom. What do you think of it? Are 3 meals monstrous in America? Why is the eagle the national bird of America? Why do lots of Americans refuse to wear a mask during COVID? How do Americans teach English in America? If you notice, I moved in front of a bookcase so I can look professorial. I wonder how much people appreciate classical music in America. I mean, I just want to know how many people would go to a concert in their daily lives. Will they go to a concert just like they go to the movies? If it's the first time to see your girlfriend's parents, what gifts will you bring? Does America have sex education classes? And when do they start? Christian is the only religious belief in America. Is that true? How do Americans look upon America's freedom? What's the most important part about it? How do Americans feel about being governed by 2 parties? What are the attitudes of Americans towards foreign cultures coming to the U.S.? How do you regard the phenomenon that some Western media report China in a wrong way? What's the life like for an American college student? What do you think about your government when it launches wars around the world and interferes with the internal affairs of other countries? Are wages very high in the United States, comparing with Chinese? Will Americans be kicked out of their house when they turn 18? Does everyone in America know Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson? If it's true, why? If not, tell me the person that everybody knows. I'll just finish off with 2 more. Do you hate Asian or Chinese because of the COVID-19? And the final question. Why do so many people have a pet instead of a child? Let me ask you that question. Why do so many Americans have a pet instead of a child? I'm talking to you. Ask an American. To be honest, this is not an original Jesse idea. I first heard of someone doing this in Los Angeles, where I used to live, There was a guy who does Ask a Mexican. It was Ask a Mexican column in a newspaper. And I'm sure it's been copied all over the world by teachers and columnists alike. It's a great idea. I just feel very fortunate with these questions. I mean, they're great. And again, apologize in advance. You're not going to get any answers from me here. You'll have to come to my class for that. Everybody's welcome. And with that, I'm going to end this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any comments or questions, you can always ask an American. Drop a comment below. Press the like button if you enjoyed this, and share this video. Share this video with people you think might be interested. Finally, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And that's it. I'll catch you guys later. Looking forward to answering their questions in class next week.